Hello and welcome to our Assassin's Creed 3 review. My name's Hobie and with me today is Chris.
Hello.
Well, we'll get straight to it. What would you say it was out of 10?
7, 8, near 8.
I would agree. I would say it's 8 out of 10. It's a vast improvement over the other 5 or 6 Assassin's Creed games. They've completely reinvented everything from the free running to the combat. They've added many things like naval battles,
Which were good.
which are very good, and I look forward to see what they do in the future if they have future Assassin's Creed games.
I imagine they will. The biggest improvement I would say is storyline. I actually paid attention to this storyline. I find the American history much more interesting than Renaissance Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it's just... I recognise the names and the people and things, and I actually enjoyed learning about it, so I paid more attention there. But overall, the ending, if we're talking about storyline, was poor.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think everything American history is brilliant. They've done a good job, including key moments like the Boston Tea Party
Yeah,
and
you
everything.
knew that was going to be in it and things.
But with Desmond's story, it's always a bit lacking, I find.
It's always been quite lacking.
Okay, so very quickly, what would you say were your favourite parts of the game?
I really enjoyed the fighting. The climbing, I did like the new ways he climbed, because that got a bit repetitive. I liked all that. They've had the little challenges before, but I like these ones, especially the homestead missions. There was just something sort of nicer about them. I actually wanted to do the stories there. I like that. The hunting was alright. I mean, it's not like groundbreaking. It stole, I would say, heavily from Red Dead, but there is something satisfying about stalking a bear from the trees and then knifing it through the neck.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I loved the introduction of naval battles. I loved the introduction of hunting. Everything that was already there, like the fighting and the free running, has been reinvented to be brilliant, I believe. I mean, even with things like getting a human shield, being able to pick up a
Little things like
rifle
that.
whilst on the run, stab a guy and still be running, even though I never fully mastered it. And like you said, the homestead missions, you actually felt like there was something for the characters. You cared. With one of them who was pregnant, you wanted to get the doctor, I found, in time. Downfalls?
It had its bugs.
Yeah.
The ones that really stick out for me would be horse riding. It seemed in the towns you couldn't sprint run, so it felt completely pointless. I never used a horse in the cities, and in the frontier, unless you stick to the path, you will get stuck on something. Even in the path, I got stuck on times, but Christ, you could not take a horse off road and not get stuck between nothing. You just hit something and you go, what's happened? And the horse would shake and you're fucked.
Downfalls for me, like you said, there were a couple of glitches in some cinematics for me. Maybe it's me personally not being able to play the game as well, but I always found free running, even though it's been reinvented, you would find yourself running up a
always
post
run
that
up
you can't.
something you didn't want to, or jump and grab something you didn't want to. There's always
But
that.
I think that's human error more than the game's error, so I'll let it slide.
a
for
bit
that
of
one.
both, yeah. So it's a bit unfair to solely blame the game.
Trading. The trading system
Trading,
I
what
found
was the point?
a worthless
Absolutely
point of
pointless.
time. I thought it was going to be good, and it wasn't.
I only traded a few things when I needed money quickly, but it was just completely pointless. I only made the things that I needed to for the challenges and the achievements. I never made... What was the point of having all those different things? It does nothing. I don't understand why they put it in.
And my last one was, even though there was not a lack of weaponry, you start off with the Assassin Tomahawk, and I
You
pretty
never
much
needed
used
to... Yeah,
that
that's a good
the whole
one. You
game.
never needed to buy all these different weapons. I did for the achievement list again, but why? I bought like one sword. I never really noticed differences. You know, it's like, oh, speed plus one level, but there seemed to be more variety before. I don't know whether that's just I'm forgetting, but this one, it really was like, well, I've got a sword, that's it. I just didn't. I stuck with that, and that was pretty much it. So I think that's poor for a game where I really enjoy the fighting. I thought I'd rather a bit more variety and things.
That aside, however, I'd just like to remind you, we both strongly loved this game. We both gave it 8 out of 10, and I would recommend buying it if you're a fan or if you're new to it.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on multiplayer. Comes on the second disc, and from what I've heard, it's still buggy, but it's still good.
Yeah, same as ever, sort of thing.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed listening to Chris and I talk about Assassin's Creed 3. Final rating 8 out of 10, and we strongly recommend you buy it if you're into Assassin's Creed. See you next time.